I'm here on a job site with Tim, who owns his own electrical contracting business.
3 employees and 2 work trucks.
Tim traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance. We're positively here where he needs us most.
They sure are.
With step-by-step help on all his insurance needs, all for shockingly low rates.
Shockingly low, huh?
It's just a little bit of electrician humour. Do you get it?
I got it.
You know, it feels like we have a real connection. All right, I'll stop.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
Hey, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo. It is trash night. That means it's Thursday. But if it's not live, if you're not live, it's Monday. But we're here with somebody special. It's that guy right over there. Am I pointing the right way? This way, right there. Who is
That's you, Rob Van Dam.
Boom. I think I know you. You're
Yes.
the Polish Prince, right?
Yes, sir. And I'm the one that came up with the thumbs, the best move ever in professional wrestling.
Yeah, heck yeah. That was just inadvertent too, Rob. You just kind of
the most copied and inspiring move ever seen inside the square circle.
Square circle. Devastating. It's devastating. Was that just kind of like something you just started doing and then it kind of turned into it, right? Basically.
Pretty much. I definitely wasn't saying, man, I need a taunt that'll catch on that people will do when they want to show me their support. It comes across desperate when people are trying to come up with stuff now and they're doing like shadows on the wall. It's like, yeah, keep working on that, bro.
You'll find something.
The best stuff's always organic.
Absolutely. Rob, I told you this like early on when we started recording, but like when I graduated, well, it was nearing when I was graduating college or something like that. I went to the bar that we were going. It was like a club and bar kind of thing. And we were all drinking and getting hammered and stuff like that. And I was trashed. And like they had like a stage where like this cover band was playing on. And I was hammered. And I got up on stage and I started doing the RVD thing. And the security guard just walked up to me, picked me up by underneath the shoulders, and then set me back down off the stage.
I can see that.
Yes. So, it was pretty great.
You must have been a big fan, huh?
I was a big fan, but yeah, definitely.
No, I mean the security guard.
Oh, he must have been, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But hey, we got some good fans in the house here too. We got Candido fan, who's a regular. We got Maddie's in the house. Triple E, Frankie Turizo always asks the good questions. We got people. David Rose, he says Michigan is in the house, so Michigan is representing here, not just Rob. And then we also have, I know somebody was from Sri Lanka. They shouted out, yeah. Max Clay, love from Colombo, Sri Lanka. So thank you for joining in tonight.
Never heard of it.
Wow, how about that? We're worldwide right now. Worldwide.
You ever heard of it, Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka? Yeah, you might have heard of it before.
Okay.
Somewhere like, I think it's near India. I could be wrong. Sorry if I am. But shout out to everybody joining in live. If you're on rvdtv.com or if you're on RVD's YouTube channel, be sure to hit like, subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and it helps out that damn algorithm and stuff.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday indeed. Rob, we talked last week about AI a little bit. And so I was applying to a couple extra jobs, side gigs and stuff like that. And there was like this AI-based gig that was going on. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? It's either adapt or die kind of thing. So I started applying to the job, and they wanted all this like ID verification. And like they do like the little thing where you hold your phone up and scan your face and stuff like that. And I like took a picture of my
a Dom Dom D'Angelo action figure.
That's it. Like they're making an action figure of me. And I took a picture of my ID and I set it up there and I'm like really sketched out then about it. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. And so I messaged them all and I was like, can you get rid of all my information on there? But who knows what's going to happen. So if you see me framed with something in some government kind of operation, that might be it. So
yeah, you know, Dominator, since you bring it up, I saw something. It's like a week old now, but we didn't talk about it. And I think, well, what is that? Oh, that's the. We got some new Alexas.
ooh,
Yeah, so there's Katie's firing them up, and they're making
some
logging out noises. But anyway, as far as AI goes, everybody saw this news like a week ago. I just want to talk about it, give my opinion. This is one of those things where, you know, you come here to get a different perspective. If that inspires hate and negativity in you, this might be the place for you if that's what you're looking for. But so anyway, everybody was up in arms about the AI picture, I guess it was, that a fan did kissing AJ Lee.
Yes.
How'd you feel about that? Because I saw headlines saying this is too far. It's creepy. Like, oh my God, this has to be stopped. And that pissed me off.
Yeah. Okay. Explain.
Well, so the whole thing with free speech is and free expression is that you got to put up with some people's expression that you might not like. That's what it's about. They got to put up with yours if you don't like it. Okay, we've had Photoshop forever, and anything can be done with Photoshop. A lot of the same shit. But here's how I want to explain this. Okay, all the videos I've seen of people getting killed by animals, AI videos.
Yes.
Yeah. Killed by other people. Killed by cars, whatever, that are AI. No one's got a problem with that. But now, why is it more offensive if somebody creates something, an AI video? Why is it more offensive if I'm kissing someone than if I'm killing somebody? I think that anybody should have the right. It's the freedom. Now, if they drew a picture, and by the way, what fan wouldn't want to do that? You know what I mean? Like if you're a wrestling fan and you're good at AI, having a picture of you and like one of the divas, any of the girls, if it's innocent enough to where it didn't offend me, and to take away this person's artistic freedoms because you think it's creepy, that don't fly with me, because people's sense of reasonability is not a good standard. It's subjective, and everyone has a different opinion on where they would draw the line. You definitely should not start taking away people's rights to create something like that. Like you mentioned the pirate, the porch pirates. I posted that. Yes. People get mad at the porch pirate AI videos because they think that someone's trying to scam them. They're like, no, it's fake. You're trying to put it off like it's real. If that is their obvious intent, is to make it to fool you, and you want to be offended by that, okay. But if it's the message itself, it's funny. There was some where people would like grab it and it would explode like a hand grenade, or others where a car would go up and hit them on the porch. They're not trying to tell us that's real, but that's entertaining. If you're going to use AI and try and be entertaining, I say good job. There was some videos that they were like that the other day that everybody thought that they were good. And some of the comments were like, wow, finally someone's using AI for a good reason and making it entertaining. I can't remember what the fucking video was, but it can't be based on what's good and what's bad, because not everybody has the same opinions, the same values. We're all different, and you can't use that to draw the line. That's like a cop saying, I only break the little rules, the ones that aren't that important, not the real important ones. I don't. Or that's like a guy saying, "Hey, I'm a good person. I don't do anything wrong. I just cheat on my wife."
Yeah, I know, right?
You can't. If you got freedom, then you got freedom all the way. So would I be offended? Sure, I would be offended if there was like a dude that was making AI of me making out like with a guy or something like that. I'd be like, oh, gross. But I wouldn't have any retaliatory thoughts. I wouldn't be trying to get the guy banned from social media or anything like that. And I'm not saying anybody is, but from the feedback that I saw on that particular video, I could tell because people didn't agree with it, they don't want it. And that's just too basic thinking.
There's aspects too where it's like nowadays, whenever you see something, the caveat's always going to be like that could be AI in a lot of ways too.
I don't trust anything anymore.
Right? You can't trust anything that you really see. Like Larry Rob, you were just talking about that too. Somebody I just saw on Instagram or some dude like took a picture of his arm and then told AI to put like a wound on his arm, and then he sent it to his work, and they gave him time off and like the pay and all that stuff because he did that, and so it's just like you can't, if you see somebody like that, like being, and a fan is going to do that. Fans that love women wrestling and stuff like that, there's going to always be that dynamic of, oh, I'm attracted to this person or some other aspect too. It's unfortunately going to happen, and that's kind of part of it too. And it's it's just the world we live in right now, and that's somebody's going to express it. And if people feel a certain way about that person because they did it, that's the almost you can condemn him in that way if you want to, but
the fan that was spying on and snuck into, was it Sonya Deville's?
Yes.
Okay, that is too far. That is creepy. Mm-hmm. That's a crime.
Right.
But
that's
drawing a picture, whether you freehand draw it or whether you use software to draw it or whatever, that should not be a crime. That should be left up to you and your opinion of what is in good taste. And, I hope that the kid doesn't get over bullied for doing something that is really no big deal. I hope he hears this. So far, I got the fans back.
There we go. There we go. Yeah,
anybody that believes in artistic freedom, our First Amendment, the right to of expression, and doesn't want to see us living in a controlled society where you can't do that anymore just because you feel good, like your stuff is what the other parents will agree with or whatever. Fuck that.
And I think, and last week too, I made mention about like how I think, AI has like taken away a lot of like the stuff I went to college for and things like that, and limited, writing or artwork or certain aspects like that. I do think in the grand scheme of it all, people will be able to designate between like what AI is and then what a creative aspect is. Nobody's going to actually AI won't ultimately be able to take away what like humans do, I think, in the grand scheme of it all when it boils down to it. So, I mean, there is that kind of difference in, I just think the scales will balance out here at some point anyways, with it all. But
well, I don't know that, that's what you say. I don't know, moving forward.
I don't know either. Yeah. But
I guess, I don't trust a lot of what's on Instagram anymore. Is one of my favorite things to see is just hot girls. I'm a strong supporter, like heart rolling through. Like, yeah,
that helps the algorithm.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan. The NBA on Prime crew is back, and the quest for the Emirates NBA Cup is center court once again. Group play is over. Now the remaining 8 teams do battle in the knockout rounds, and Prime is your exclusive home for all the action. It all starts with the quarterfinals. 2 consecutive nights of can't-miss doubleheaders this Tuesday and Wednesday night. Win, and you move on to the semifinals. Lose, and your quest for the cup is over. The stakes are high, and the intensity will be even higher. It's back-to-back nights of doubleheaders guaranteed to entertain. And if you're not a Prime member, that's not a problem. Sign up for a 30-day free trial to get started today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. The Emirates NBA Cup quarterfinals this Tuesday and Wednesday night, only on Prime.
I'm here on a job site with Tim, who owns his own electrical contracting business.
3 employees and 2 work trucks.
Tim traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance. We're positively here where he needs us most.
They sure are.
With step-by-step help on all his insurance needs, all for shockingly low rates.
Shockingly low, huh?
Just a little bit of electrician humour. Do you get it?
I got it.
You know, it feels like we have a real connection. All right, I'll stop.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
It's like if a girls want you to look at them and they're making it easy for you, you know, and stuff, and then it's like, yeah, I support that. You know what I mean? You want to look sexy in a swimsuit and show me, you know, what you look like posing, whatever, then like, yeah, hey, boom, you got my support. A lot of times now, like if the girl looks too good, I'm like, that's probably AI.
Yeah. I know. You just always got it. It's gonna be in everybody's mind. Like if you're constantly on the internet and you're seeing stuff, like first thing that will come to mind when you see an image is like, is that AI? Because it could be, and it could be. So, interesting discussion.
But where are you going to draw the lines as far as your artistic freedom when it comes to making AI videos? If you can show a shark eating a person, gobbling them up, then you can show 2 people with a little peck on the cheek that didn't really actually kiss, and you're not making any kind of civil infractions, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then like too, a lot of, is it Instagram? Instagram does this. I know. I think they do indicate if it's AI or not. So if you go up with the little top of it, I think sometimes it's indicated that it's AI or whatever too. AI.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's some stuff to it. And, you know, a lot of the time, I mean, it'll be tougher as time goes on, I'm sure, to tell what's AI and isn't too.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, oh man, it's that time of the year where there's a lot of stuff going on. You have Thanksgiving just went down. Now we got the holidays coming up, Christmas, Hanukkah, whole lot of stuff, whole lot of gift planning to do. And people are really, really busy moving around. It's cold out. Man, how do you not get burnt out? I get burnt out big time doing all this kind of stuff, not only podcasting, but taking care of the holiday stuff. Well, anywho, no way to feel a little bit better during this holiday season than IndaCloud. IndaCloud is your online dispensary for better nights, smoother mornings, and calmer holidays. Now with zero sugar, zero-calorie THC sodas alongside your favorite gummies and pre-rolls. All federally legal, THC, DEA certified, lab tested, and shipped discreet, because you can't pour from an empty cup, but you can sip your sanity back. Yeah, there's plenty of times where I just get so burnt out, and hey, you want to get that right pep in your step, and with little THC cooking going on, no better choice than to have IndaCloud. They got gummy rope, they got the gummies themselves, the dope rope one is called, and then also like the candies and stuff like that. So really, really good options and choices that you can have there too that fit your needs. So let's do it to it. If you're 21 years or older, visit indacloud.co and use code RVD for 25% off plus free shipping. That's indacloud.co, code RVD, 25% off, free shipping, and a better way to unwind. Enjoy responsibly, and thanks to IndaCloud for making the reset part easy. And, hey, a little more refreshing. We'll have to see how it all pans out.
Yeah.
Guys and gals, if you have any questions for Rob, I always try to keep my eyes peeled just in the regular chat, but it does help to use the super chat. That makes it highlight it. And so we have one here from Jim the Dawn, who's a regular here.
What up, Jim?
This is on the anniversary, I think, or maybe it was yesterday, but Umaga passing away. And he had to say, Umaga. Yep. Umaga stories. Hope everyone is doing good, RVD fam. Yeah, he's curious if you have any good Umaga stories. I know we talked about him before.
Did we?
Yeah, it's been a while ago. Maybe it was about a year ago since doing.
Okay. Yeah, I loved Umaga. He was my favorite Samoan. I just met his son last week. He came up and introduced himself to me and at WrestleCade.
Zillow, yep. Zilla.
Yep. And so that was cool. And same thing I told him. He was, in my opinion, the best. He was my favorite Samoan to hang out with. He was cool, but also in the ring. I felt like he got it. Like he wrestled like a Samoan, but he was explosive and also he was different, just even just how he would like throw him up before catching him in the Samoan grab. Like I thought like, wow, that he gets it. He took a traditional, and maybe he didn't make it up, but I didn't see anyone do it before. So for me, that was his move. I was like, he's boom. He modernized the fucking Samoan drop. That's awesome and made it super cool. And I always liked him. One story, it's just a real short one. I think it was Booker T and myself that were wrestling, him and Rosie, and the 3-minute warning. And Eki, for some reason, he did a spin kick on Booker T, whoever my opponent was. I think it was Booker. And he never did a spin kick. And it was like something like so out of pocket for him to do. And it looked like that too, because he might have started on his feet, but by the time his feet swung around, his ass had already dropped to the ground. So his legs just hit Booker in the shin, and it ended up like being really low. And it was just something that I had so much fun making fun of him about. Cause I was like, dude, what are you doing? Dude, you don't even, what is that? Is that something you did like when you were 12? You just thought you would try? Like, why in the middle of the match? Why are you out there trying to do something like that? Did you hit him? Dude, you might have broke his feet. And I was just giving him a hard time. And Red Hot Chili Peppers had this song, and it was playing all the time. And at the beginning of it, it sounded to me like, and so I would always say this to Eki, to Umaga, I would always say, can't stop, addicted to the shin kick.
Yeah.
So that's a little inside joke that I had with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How was he? Like, so he played like a wild Samoan basically as Umaga and everything like that. But how was he as like a personality? Like, do you think he would have been good like on the mic if he was just like himself?
I think he could have. I think he could have done anything that he wanted to. And I wasn't around anymore when he passed. Mm-hmm. And when I was around, he wasn't doing those kind of things. He wasn't doing the drugs, the somas, which eventually brought him down. So I think, he changed. He changed, man. I think that he at least changed his process and his routine after I was gone, because and everybody does. They go through phases, you know what I mean, where they're, everyone has their issues where they battle sobriety. Sometimes it's hard for them and it threatens their job, and other times it's just something where the boys gotta smack him a few times, and say, dude, what are you doing? And they'll just wake up and quit doing it. I was really surprised to hear that he could have OD'd or had a heart attack from the OD, whatever the actual thing was. But I get it too. You know what I mean? Like it's something that is a choice, and sometimes it can seem like a good choice, even though even though it's not. It feels good. It's fun. It's gets you through the day. It makes you enjoy life more. There's a bunch of reasons why sometimes it can seem like a good choice to get into some really bad habits, but he wasn't. I'm trying to think, like, if did he smoke? He might have smoked with me some weed. I really don't even know. Like, I can't even say for sure that he didn't seem to really have a thing at the time. So, unfortunately, he might have picked up a thing or two. A lot of times it has to do with who you're traveling with,
When did this Soma stuff kind of settle down in wrestling?
I think probably I think like 2005-ish when Eddie passed, it was still like that was the first guess. Like, what was it? Was it Soma's? And around that time, that was when a bunch of the boys were dropping. That was obviously the main common denominator in everybody's death. But not long afterwards, it seemed like there was a changing of the guard. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I left in 2007 or so, I think, and then when I came back in 2015, it was just completely different. Younger guys, a whole new class of wrestlers, a different level of professionalism, more like a corporate job. Like, you're there working for a corporation, making it more and more safety friendly environment, and less of old school rules and boys that are prioritizing still in the aftermatch parties and stuff. So definitely sometime in between there, I would say between like 2007 and 2015, there was a complete changing of the guard.
Yeah. No, it seemed like that's probably, it felt like around the time when that dynamic really changed.
Yeah, maybe 2010, somewhere around there. It seems like, and like in people's minds, because they're not as specific, they don't care to be or whatever in their minds, they just think pain pills. Oh yeah, pain pills really kill a lot of wrestlers. No, they don't. It's Somas, and it's a muscle relaxer, which has a total different job than the pain pills. And a lot of times the pain pills are in there in the wrestler's cocktail, along with some Valiums, maybe some things to rest, some alcohol. It's a bunch of stuff mixed up, but it's the Somas that is that's the one to look for. That's in like I said, it's commonality because it's in a lot of them, and it makes it hard for your body to fight, to kick out when it's going down, because it's telling your body to relax.
Yeah, to chill out. Oh man, yeah. It just sounds like a dangerous thing ultimately after time and time,
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. So there was a couple notes I've made, actually. I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. Speaking of the times changing, I guess this will be a good one to go into. They've been talking about CM Punk recently talked about the pay scale in WWE and how that's kind of changed the business in certain ways. And then Nick Khan, he just like either today or yesterday made comments about the pay. So I'm going to read these quotes for you, and I want to get your thoughts on these. So this is CM Punk. This is CM Punk from probably a couple of weeks ago. He says, I mean, the business has radically changed. It was a different place when I signed than when I debuted. And then when I came back, it's such a radically different place. The thing with the title too is it means you made more money. That does not exist anymore. It's good and bad. Like, we all made more money now, which is thumbs up. But like, my paycheck was always predicated on how many people were in the building. So I was driven towards ticket sales and the business of it. And when you're in the main events, you got paid more money. And now everyone's just kind of on salary. So I think that's good and bad. It's good for the boys, but also I feel that it's not the same ambition. I always wanted to be in the main event because it got me more money. And now I think now I don't care as if I'm in the opening match, because I'm still going to make the same, and I can shower and watch the show. And this is what Nick Khan ended up saying, like, I guess yesterday or today. He says it's a meritocracy. If you make it to the top, and you're marketable, you get paid. That's how any job should be. Your job, my job, any job. Similarly, in WWE, if you're Roman Reigns, if you're Brock Lesnar, if you're Cody Rhodes, all the guys at the top of our game, CM Punk, they're getting rich. If you're in the middle, you're not getting rich, but you have a really good life. In boxing, to your point, it's not that way. It's not that way. There's really only rich or not rich. So, Rob, I guess I want your thoughts on that kind of thought process in WWE. What do you think of CM Punk's comments? Does that kind of resonate with you and how you feel, or do you feel that's a good change for the business? Ultimately, is like it's not predicated on ticket sales and I want to be at the top of the card, but does it take away that competitive nature too?
Well, I'm not sure that I really understand how it's working now, because in the end, ticket sales are part of what funds the whole company. So even if you can say it's not directly related, in the big picture, obviously, if no one's buying tickets, you're not going to be able to afford to pay anybody, right?
Sure. And like that would, I guess, also indicate like, is wrestling popular? Are you going to get a new TV deal? And there's like, or who's going to buy your streaming rights, or certain aspects like that, I guess, come into play. But I guess that's another factor, though, that comes into play is the streaming deal, the global reach, the ESPN deal, where they just signed a huge, and now they're under contract and everybody's kind of safe right now for the time being. So,
I mean, it sounds like they're taking care of the boys a lot better than they used to, So as far as that goes, it sounds like a good thing. Overall, the pay there has always kind of been like just take what they give you, and I don't try and figure out how they came up with that number. After you have your bare minimum worked out, you know what I mean? That's how it was. You work out I know I'm going to make at least this much for the year. So cool. And then on every night when you get your checks, you got 3 nights in a row, 2 nights in a row. There's such a wide range on the spectrum. Could be this much, could be this much. And you just got to take everybody's word, if it's pay-per-view. Oh, I guess this one didn't do that well, or I guess this one did really well, or oh, cool. I was first match, or I was third match, and made that much. Oh, wow, I made more money in this match. That's weird, but there is no figuring it out the way that it used to be. So the way that it is now, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's based on. So it's hard to respond, because I don't know what it's based on. Is it just based on comparative pays, like you see what other people are getting, and then you want to be in that ballpark, which obviously takes some information that you got to have in order to negotiate like that. But I don't know, it's a big enough company to where maybe the ticket sales themselves are not as big of a part of their overall income as it used to be. Maybe with all the merchandise and buy rates and the stock, just all the different ways that they have to make money. Maybe that's why they're able to sign bigger deals. And if it is true, not worry as much about the gate to determine that. I don't know.
I think that is part of it too, because if you look over the past year, WWE started limiting their house show dates, like really limiting them. And like mostly it's like their primary shows that they do. So SmackDown, Raw, and then, the PLEs that they have. Maybe once in a while they'll do a live event, but rarely they really cut down on them big time. So I think it kind of does. The ticket sales, I don't think are as important maybe as they used to be, because of everything else that's kind of going on, I guess, at the same time for them. But yeah, knowing you though, Rob, if you were, say you were the top of the card in the current state of WWE, or say you're like say you're somewhere in the middle, do you think you would still have that competitive edge if the pay's pretty much across the board same, except for like the really top guys? Would you still have that kind of competitive edge being in the business that, say you take 1998 ECW RVD?
And you're saying that if I wasn't rewarded financially for working harder, would I work harder? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so I'm saying, would you still have the competitive edge? Like somebody's at the top of the card, that you could get paid more money, like to get there, but ultimately you're still in a good, safe, comfortable zone where you're getting paid good enough to have a good living and live a good life. Would you still be?
Is there opportunity to grow? Is there opportunity to still go up?
Sure, there's still, you could still make it up there.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's that incentive, then I would imagine I would be competitive and try to win all the fans over so I could, enjoy them pushing me up as high as I could go.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, I thought that was when I saw that stuff, I was like, I'd love to give Rob's thoughts on how this all kind of laid out.
What's hard to imagine is feeling that is true. Because I remember like being there before, it really felt like there was so much. A lot of it was political, but It didn't feel like, I mean, obviously, okay, I'm in WWE, so you're not. So between us, if one of us has a chance, to make world championship money, it's probably going to be me, right? And
yeah,
so
right.
If you look at it like that, like, well, while I'm here, if I play all my cards right, that could be me. I could be that guy, maybe like, although in the real physical world, that is how it seems and maybe how it is from the outside view. When you're in that view, it seems more like you got that glass ceiling and you got so many of the agents that don't want to see it that way. You got this guy with the 3 letters trying to hold you down and make sure you don't pass him and trying to manipulate your popularity for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And try to mitigate your success. And all of that is so obvious that it seems like, at least for me, it sometimes seems like, okay, the sky's not the limit. This glass ceiling right here is the limit. The sky's way past that. That's not for me. That's for the other guys.
You're saying that's how the feeling was?
Yeah, I never, like, as a fan, you could say RVD. I watched it, during the Attitude Era. I watched it during the, Monday Night Wars. You were my favorite wrestler, and I appreciate that. And I believe you're being honest. I was your favorite, but I never saw myself as making money that they're paying the guy that's in the position above me. That would be the empty seat if I was going to be moving up. There was times where there's me at my level, and then there's The Rock, and then there's Steve Austin, or there's Undertaker, or there's John Cena. Like, all those guys seem like at a level where they were going to get the money. I didn't feel like any of that was ever going to end up in my pockets, no matter what I did. Even when I was a world champion, that's how I felt. And,
wow, really?
Yeah, and I can understand how someone on the outside could say that's just in my head, but I don't think it is still.
Wow. Yeah. No, because I mean, like, everybody was like, at the time, I know me too. I'm like, man, you got to put the title on RVD. And like, even you mentioned, like, when you first got there, basically in WWE, and Austin was like, they're strapping a rocket on your back,
sure,
and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients from blood flow to keep that rocket pumping. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. So make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code RVD. That's promo code RVD. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
So, pretty interesting stuff.
When I saw Bryan Danielson do it, I actually thought, like, wow, he actually did it. Like, he was in the same position, I felt like, where the fans loved him and wanted to see him get pushed, but he definitely wasn't I don't want. No, I just dropped a doobie. I didn't want love eater. But you know, he was fan favorite, but definitely not the office favorite, and I could see that, and then boom, you know, I saw him go to the top, and I thought, wow, I never would have thought that the office would go with it that way, because it felt so conflicting with their agenda, their thought, their values. You know what I mean? To put this guy in that championship position where he's making the main event money on the pay-per-views, I got to tell you, that was for me very surprising, and maybe I was wrong about me. You know, maybe I could have held out there for a little while, but they never gave me any reason to feel that confident.
Well, man, I tell you what, though, when that one night stand happened, and like you saw that sign, if Cena wins, we riot. And it was just like, yeah, Rob has to win this match. I don't know what's going to happen if he doesn't. And like, I
knew that the office really didn't like ECW, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even if for a moment there, I let my head get involved with what was going on. As soon as we started doing the ECW house shows, they were the shittiest arenas. It was like going back to 1997 again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Vince got hold of, like, harnessed what was great about the old ECW and got what he wanted out of it. And then at that point, okay, I'm done. This is what we're doing with it now after the fact.
I was back at the Ross Draver Ice Gardens, hockey arenas, little shitty. You know that place.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, they think this is hardcore.
Right.
Is that the agenda here? Because they weren't spending nearly the same amount to market us. For a while there, we had to piggyback off of the SmackDown shows for the TVs, and hated that too, you know. But at least then there was more people because they were there for SmackDown.
Yeah, right, man.
And I remember ECW after SmackDown, the whole SmackDown TV taping. Then when it's done, then ECW for anyone that's not too tired and wants to.
Yeah, they're in store for the 4-hour wrestling show at that point.
Like, they really gave us the last option of everything, and it felt like we were used to it. That was somehow, I think that either they thought that was a non-factor with our success, or maybe they thought that that's where we belonged. Maybe thought it was a good fit, you know, having $500 advertising budget instead of a $5,000.
Wow.
Skinny little buildings, you know, that hold 2,000 instead of 30,000. You know, maybe all those little things were just like, they were just like thinking our fans are only comfortable crawling out of the woodwork to go to those little shitty shows or something.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, we're going to go back to Jim Thorpe, PA. You love that place, right? You want to go back?
Right. Love it. All right. Smoke him if you got him.
Smoke him if you got him, gang. Rob, I remember when you wrestled at the Roast Driver Ice Garden for the IWC when we first hung out, and you had that match, and Channing Decker was in it. I think Jock Sampson was in there too. And like, I remember you getting out of it, and you had fucking paint chips on your singlet.
Yeah.
And we first walked in too, and you turned around and you were like, I told you it was a shithole.
Yeah. Well, when WWE was booking those house shows for ECW, I was working Big Show at them, you know, and I was like, man, that proves you can have a sweet card, don't advertise it, put it in the, you know, in the fucking gutter, and you're not going to make no money off of it.
Right. God. Yeah, very aggravating, I'm sure. All right, we have a couple super chats here. This is from Instagram, a wrestling historian. Frankie, I'll get to yours next too. But thanks for the Canadian $2, eh? He says, how was working with Steven Seagal on Sniper? Do you remember that, Rob?
It's very easy to remember. My experience working with Steven Seagal was void.
Really?
Yes. I didn't work with him at all. We both starred in that movie something ops, sniper ops, something ops, special ops sniper. Anyway, only one person worked with him, and he was on the set by himself, and that was one of the things that I guess he liked to do. He apparently had some special needs when it came to production, and so I didn't even see him at all.
Wow. Have you heard
people are talking to him on the walkie-talkies, having conversation and shit. But he was just there by himself, like for a day or two, doing his part, and trying to stay away from the ladies, because he has a reputation backed by, I think, some lawsuits or whatever, and it was a situation where one guy worked with him. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Did you hear the urban legend of him where he was working with? Do you remember Judo Gene LaBelle?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He shit his pants.
Yeah, where he Judo Gene LaBelle choked him and he allegedly pooped his pants.
Yeah. Steven Seagal had a partner that he did movies with. His early movies, Above the Law, Marked for Death, maybe, Out for Justice. And I love my memory. But anyways, partner was Jules Nassau, and they had a falling out over money, and allegedly Jules wasn't associated with the Gambino crime family, and allegedly the Gambinos were threatening Seagal to pay, and so he crossed over into the mob lore with that story, and it actually is an Anthony Pellicano story, who was the Hollywood fixer, because he was tied up in the middle, and one of the reporters, Anita Bush, she was a journalist that was being threatened. She thought it was by the mob anyway, like somebody put a bullet in her windshield, put a dead fish on her car, and a note that said stop. And she thought it was because she was investigating Steven Seagal and this extortion that he was getting from the Gambino family. And anyway, I just finished reading that book on it last night. It was called Hollywood Confidential. And Anthony Pellicano is an area of interest for me. He grew up with the mob in Chicago, became a private investigator, and he's a Hollywood fixer. The TV show Ray Donovan was actually written and inspired by him.
Really?
Yeah. You ever see that show?
No, I hear great things about it though. On Showtime, it used to be on.
I loved it. I want to rewatch that. I would like to rewatch that sometime pretty soon. But yeah. Anyway, he was a wiretapper, and like everybody hired him. All the top celebrities, like his clientele list is huge of people that hired him, whether they're going through divorces or getting out of contracts or whatever. And he had different ways of blackmailing and fixing and stopping things from happening, and baby mama lawsuits, things like, and a lot of it was he wiretapped and would use that information that he would get illegally and shit. And he did 15 years in jail for it, and kept his mouth shut. Everybody thought he was going to tell on all his celebrity clients that paid him huge money, and that he was going to rat them out to get out of trouble. And he said, fuck no. He said, I'm not telling shit, so he stayed, and he's out now. But it's an interesting, he's same position as Fred, not Otis, not Olsen. What's his name? Fred. Is it Otis?
Fred.
Anyway, he was a Hollywood fixer back like in the 40s, 50s. He was at Marilyn Monroe's house. Right after she died, and was there when before they called the cops, anyway, Anthony Pellicano is like a more modern day Fred.
Otash.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.
Both of those guys fascinate the hell out of me. And there was studio fixers too that worked specifically for the studios. They did a lot of problem fixing and, arranged for secret abortions down in Mexico and controlled the navigation of, when stars got busted being gay or committing crimes or drinking or whatever. And that's always just been interesting to me, that Hollywood fixer thing. But Fred Otash was the original, and he did the wiretapping too. On everybody. It also worked with the mob and presidents and government, like everything in between. So if you haven't heard, guys, I recommend checking out Fred Otash and also Anthony Pellicano. There's a lot on him, but there's a 2-part documentary called Sin Eater that you want to check out if you want to. If you want to see about Anthony Pellicano. But I've read a couple of books on him, and you can get caught going in a wormhole because there's so much that he's done, things that, with stars that we know about.
Wow, how about that? Yeah, you guys, it looks like you can maybe watch it on YouTube here. The New York Times presents Sin Eater, The Crimes of Anthony Pellicano. So check it out. And then
he was like a James Bond dude, like he knew how to fight and stuff. So he was maybe a thug, or maybe depending on how you look at him, maybe just someone that gets the job done.
There's also a Fred Otash book called The Fixer, Moguls, Mobsters, Movie Stars in Maryland. Maryland. So check that out. That's on Amazon. Gang, if you want.
Which, by the way, Robert Kennedy killed Marilyn.
Ooh, how about that? Wow, I believe it. Was Anthony Pellicano? Was that the guy you asked Frankie about last week?
Who?
Frankie Citro? Is that?
About Anthony Pellicano? I don't think I asked about him. No.
Oh, okay. You brought up a name, and I thought that maybe that was it. But
I'm not sure. I did ask him if the nightclub he worked at Times Square, if that belonged to Matty the Horse Iannello, because he's like owns more, or did more than anybody else. But I mentioned a few names. Drop them in there to try to get bonus info out of them.
Yeah. If you haven't checked that out yet, everybody, go back and watch that Frankie Citro episode, and it's a really unique, fun episode. It was a blast having him on here. He was telling.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed having Frankie on, because I really enjoyed it. If you can't tell, I respect him a lot. He's lived like such a long life. He's got so many experiences, and he's so sharp. He's been around so long, but he's so sharp, so quick. It's like hanging out with somebody my age, not twice my age.
Yeah, right. That's what's so great about it too. It was awesome. We'll have to get him back on here. And there'll be more clips to come of that episode too. I'll be posting online, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, couple super chats here. We're going to make this a shorter episode this week.
Hello, I'm here during the lunch rush with Janice, who owns her own food truck.
Best cheesesteaks in town.
Janice traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for her food truck business. We're here where she needs us most.
They sure are.
We make it so easy for her to save, with customised coverage that grows with her business. Sorry, I just get so emotional talking about saving folks money.
Not this onion I'm chopping?
It's just so beautiful. Oh yeah, no, it's the onion.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
The following announcement has been paid for by the What's Wrong with Wrestling podcast.
Oh, hell yeah. Were you expecting someone else? Stone Cold says check out the What's Wrong with Wrestling podcast. They've got millions of downloads for being the funniest wrestling podcast in the whole world. And they ain't afraid to tell the truth about the underwhelming Triple H era. Plus, they also do some pretty dang good impressions, if you ask me. So go listen now, because Stone Cold said so.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the What's Wrong with Wrestling podcast. Available on Apple and Spotify.
Maddie asks a wild card one here. Get ready for this one, Rob. If Charlie Sheen was a manager, who would he manage? Charlie Sheen.
A wrestling manager?
Yeah, as a wrestling manager, who would he manage? We'll go with what Kylie's been chanting for. He's been wanting you to fight Ricochet. So how about Ricochet? It seems like he would have a good one there.
It'd be Ricochet.
There you go. I like it.
More than, yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of someone that's a party boy. Nobody parties anymore.
Party boy, yeah. Who would have been a party boy?
Right.
I don't know who he could have got for that one.
He would. Charlie loves the ladies, though. He'd pick one of them really gorgeous little hotties and say, "Ooh, I'm going to manage you."
Liv Morgan. How about Liv Morgan?
That'll work.
That's a good one.
That'll work. Maddie, Mr. Marijuana. Hey, how about this? Was it WrestleCade?
Yeah.
Towards the end, we were busy, by the way. Busy till like the last, I don't know if it was like a half hour before they closed, but nonstop. Which is what you want.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good day, good business. But and then when the line started slowing down, I was like, wow, okay, is it time for a break? And then they grabbed me and they said, we got some, what do they call it, personal signings or whatever. So they took me to a room and they had a private, some private, just a table. There was a few of this. I signed, a few of that, maybe like 5-10 minutes, whatever. I put my name on some stuff. And then, there was food there. So I was eating the food in the private room. When I went to leave, they were taking me back to my table. I passed Goldberg, and I looked and they had a table set up for Goldberg with some stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool. I didn't really think a lot about it. I just thought, part of me thought that's humble of him to do that just because he's such a big star. Like me, I don't care. You know what I mean? But it's because it's like, if they don't tell you ahead of time, it could be something where you could possibly not want to do it because, well, like in Canada last year, it wasn't that I didn't want to do it, but they had me only out at the table where the fans were for like an hour or something. And then they had me in the back for the whole rest of the time. Well, they had me timed till like 4:00, but they had like over 800 items for me to sign back there.
Holy shit.
And I was, and I'm as fast as I can, I'm doing it. But it was like one of those things where, man, my hand's asleep and I was still back there for hours. And so when it ended up time for me to leave, they said to me, okay, it's you can go if you want or whatever. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, is my time up or not? And they were like, well, there's still a lot left to sign, but we agreed on, doing it till 3. And I was like, so we're good, right? And I got up to leave, and then I'm waiting for a ride. Like, I don't know if I Ubered or what, but when I'm out there waiting, smoking, whatever, they came by me and they were like, oh, you're still here. And I said, yeah, I'm trying to get out of here. They go, well, if you want, you can sign some more since you're still here. Why would I want to sign?
Yeah,
I didn't understand it at all. I was like, did I complete my obligation? And they go, yeah, but I mean, if you want to, there's a lot more. Like, if you're just sitting there, if you want to sign, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I never understood it. And so anyway, I saw Goldberg had a bunch of stuff, and I said, that's cool. It's slowing down out there. I was just kind of curious how he feels about it. That's all. I didn't know, but I just thought, okay, cool, whatever. I walked out, left him in the room, and then it was all over the internet. He's got heat for leaving that signing, and I don't know if he signed some of them and said, okay, that's good. I've had enough, or if that was something he felt like they were trying to pull one over on him. Do you know the details on that?
So what I was gathering is maybe it almost sounded like there was two different signings. He did one signing. He was supposed to go to another one, and he said, no, I'm good. And didn't end up doing it. But then the guy ended up retracting and said Goldberg came back and he ended up doing it.
Oh,
so that's kind of what I gathered from it. It seemed very confusing. It seemed like Goldberg was there a long, long time, and that he was so exhausted. And how it seemed initially was like he was just like, no, I'm good. But he ended up going back and doing it. So I don't understand what the issue was, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. All I know, he was in a really good mood. It was awesome seeing him,
Goldberg's the man. Yeah, that's awesome. What a great photo. That's an awesome photo. Heck yeah.
Yeah. And so I was thinking, people, some of the headlines were saying, was Goldberg right or wrong? And it's like, they're already judging him, and who knows what he was promised, what the deal was supposed to be, what they were trying to get in on him. I didn't know, but I just wanted to bring that up, that sometimes that happens, and it's like, a lot of people you can make anyone sound like a prima donna.
Yeah.
But if you promise something, you promised it. It's even more so like on movie sets or whatever, because then you got your writer list, and there is a bunch of prima donnas there, that'd be like, oh, I have to have a movie trailer that that's at least 82 degrees, and I have to have green M&Ms, whatever. But that's but sometimes in wrestling or in movies, they'll promise you a bunch. They'll say, hey, you're gonna get a 5-star hotel, but then let's say you're in a Days Inn, it's a piece of shit. Well, now if you complain and you say, dude, this is a fucking 1-star hotel, the sheet doesn't even fit my bed, people can hear that and say, what a prima donna, like he can't even stay at a Days Inn, he's too good for that. It's not about that. It's about the deal that you made, and then that trust and that deal being broken, which that part never makes it to the fans' ears.
Right. No. Or I've heard stories where Nash, and I'm sure maybe you've gone through this too, where somebody books a flight for you and it's not the flight that you got, or that came in with those expectations in the deal itself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. People don't hear people don't take everything into context, and also know that there's nuance to all this stuff that goes on too. It's just try traveling as a wrestler for a couple months and then see how you feel.
My deal with my agent is he flies me first class. This flight a couple weeks ago, coming from New York to Oklahoma, got delayed, canceled. We got to stay and leave the next morning. We leave the next morning. There's not a first class seat for me. Now I got to sit in the back. Well, I guess it's not really his fault, except when I walked on the plane, I walked right by him sitting in first class. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Rob.
Yeah. And I thought when I explained to him that he would surely see my way, and instead he defends it as if he's not wrong or whatever. Well, I didn't know. What do you mean you didn't know? You're sitting in first, and I'm not. What the fuck? But I mean, they upgraded me. I didn't do it. It doesn't fucking matter. My deal is with you. You pay me this much, I fly first. If that's up to you. Not my deal isn't with United. You know what I mean? But
right.
I couldn't believe. I was like, I shouldn't even have brought it up. I'm getting more mad while he's defending himself.
Oh yeah, no.
Because he wanted to give Sting a hand job on the airplane on the whole ride there, and I knew that.
Oh, he was marking for Sting?
Yeah, of course. But anyway, I could have made that a bigger issue if I wanted, but sometimes you roll with it and look at the bigger picture and say, okay, I'm getting this out of this, and I gotta put up with this and this. I guess it's worth it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's it's still got to be aggravating when like that happens, though. Nonetheless.
So everyone's all fascinated that Bret said that Shawn and Vince were gay lovers.
Yes.
I can't believe how many platform or how many different shows pick that up and are talking about it. You know, it's not like nobody can say like they've never heard it before. You know what I mean? And so now it's like part of the talk is just like, okay, Bret. Now, you know, another reason for everyone to say Bret's just bitter and you know, like he's honest and he's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the things that he's saying, he has always said. So I respect him for being genuine and unfiltered. And when it comes to this, I think it's more people seem to be more interested in Bret's reason for saying it than they are in whether it was true or not. Do you think so?
Yeah. So what I read the quote, I almost felt like Bret almost said it in jest. Am I wrong in that though? Like I
think so, because he said a few times, you know, he said, I'm serious. He said, like, if I talk to them like right now, I would tell them like, hey, I think this is what happened. And he said he felt like he was caught, like torn between two lovers. And he said that's exactly how and he thought it. And the more he thinks about it, he says he thinks, you know, that's the way that it really was. And like I said, I don't think anyone's going to say they've never heard that before. So it's just more about people are like, man, Bret, you know,
they want to pile it on Bret.
He's burying himself right in front of us. He's dying. You know, it's the fans are like, oh no, you're killing your career. Stop, shut up. He's not going to hurt his legend, and you're just going to know a little bit more about how genuine and uncensored he is in the meantime. That's all.
And you know what? Like the thing about like Bret is like everybody wants to call him bitter and label him bitter and everything. And I really don't think that's the case. I think he's like, to what you're saying, he's just upfront and honest about what he has to say and what he believes in. And like, you know, even when I interviewed him when a wrestler named Leo Burke passed away, because I knew he was a big fan of Leo Burke's. And like the conversation like was lighthearted and fun, and it was a good I'm like, I didn't get bitterness at all from Bret about stuff. He's just opinionated on what he cares about wrestling and how it used to be and stuff like that. I don't get when people say he's bitter. I'm like, he's not bitter. He's not bitter. And he's had a hard life too, in a lot of ways. Like you think of all the stuff that he's gone through.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it was recently where he said he felt, I think they didn't have a seat for him or something at the Hall of Fame. Come on, dude. How are you going to not feel disrespected? I would have felt disrespected. I'm not the fucking Hitman Bret Hart. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they invite him there and they don't have a seat for him. I don't know the details. So, you know, but from what I heard, definitely validated his feelings from what I heard those were too, which was just offended. But yeah, I mean, you know, he's always said the same thing about guys that he doesn't like and why he didn't like them. And there's been no reason that he sees to change his mind. But people do change, though. That is one thing that, you know, not always, but I mean, obviously people have an ability to change. That's what growth is.
For sure. Yeah, that is. They have the ability to change and all that stuff too. You know, no, I love Bret, and like I respect. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, and as a kid, he wasn't one of my. But I've grown to like who he was and what he's kind of represented, and how great of a wrestler he was too. He's just amazing. So
yeah. So, but maybe, you know, I'd like to think that maybe those other guys grew up a little bit that were rightfully hateable back in the day.
No doubt, right? They always want to feel that way too.
Yeah.
Rob, I don't know if you noticed, but the thumbnail I made, I had a picture of you, like ECW you, and then I had two pictures. One was of TNA because they signed the deal with AMC. Did you hear about that, the TNA deal?
Nope.
Oh, you didn't hear about that? TNA signed a television deal with AMC where the channel that airs like Breaking Bad and Mad Men and all that stuff. they're gonna have a weekly program on there starting in January. So it's like big news for
Okay,
TNA.
nice. And is that is Spike even still around or
No, Spike's long gone. Yeah.
okay? Well,
I don't know what it turned into or whatever, but Spike's been gone for a long time now.
Okay.
So yeah, but but AMC, it's such a huge network, so it's good news for the wrestling business for sure.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But the other picture I had was what we've been sending back and forth is the thumbnails with Stevie and fucking Dutch, where it's just like modern wrestling sucks.
Oh.
And so I put that on there, and like because it's just like there's a trend with the bloke going on. Is all the channels that he operates. It's the same topic, but it's just different people covering them. And so,
yeah, get everybody heat. Get everyone wrapped into the hate.
Get wrapped into the hate. So I guess this probably prompted this question from Jordo. Thank you for the $2. He said, "Jordo,
the whole fucking show. Look at that.
How about that? Oh yeah, wow. I didn't even notice that. You're right.
Well, that's my corporation name, so I recognize it.
Oh, so it pops out like that. How about that?
Sure.
Well, so he asks, "Are you beefing with Stevie Richards? Were you ever friends?"
No, I'm not beefing with him, and we are as good of friends as we've ever been. Which we've never been like real close. I've never hung out with him. We've never like gone to a restaurant or anything together. I just see him at the dressing room, at the wrestling shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And I learned to respect him more as time has gone on, mostly because back in the midst of it, when I'm in that competitive state of mind, even though it's just a job, you get sucked up into the hierarchy of it. You look at, if you're a bigger star, you look at some of the other guys, if they're like stooges, sometimes you look at them as stooges. And it's like something that's like, it might sound, what's the word I'm looking for here? It might sound, I don't know, pretentious or whatever, but it's also a tradition and it's part of respect. And it's like the young boys in Japan, they help set the ring up, set the chairs up. They grab the ring jackets from the bigger stars on the card, grab all the ribbons. They wash Baba's balls in the shower, Giant Baba, back in the day. And so, but it's a thing of like a hierarchy, not just on the show, but also like you want to work your way up the ladder. You know what I mean? So, so anyway, back in the ECW days, I'm sure that I was arrogant enough to feel like I belonged there more than probably BWO, even though they were a part of the show. But it was just like, hey, I'm the main event. These guys, and you have like pull. Like if you were really like, Paul, don't fucking book them, you could probably even do something like, you probably even have some leverage for that. But I always liked them, got along with them. But now I'm able to see guys like that on a more vertical playing and look at people like that more as if, we're just two guys doing a job. When you're wrapped up in the middle of it, sometimes it doesn't seem quite like that. And that's why my agent wanted to give Sting a hand job on the airplane.
That's exactly
it. Yeah. But I agree with what I just said last week, which would be the only reason I can imagine, wondering if I had a beef with them. I said that I hoped that Stu, the Psycho Stu, was doing well. And I said, basic thinkers are going to think, since I said I got dude's back, that I must hate Stu because they got to think you got to pick a side. Yeah. And they can't both be true at the same time. I said, that's how basic thinkers think. And Stevie said, well, I guess I'm a basic thinker then. So to that, I say, fuck you, Stevie. You're admitting you're a dumbass and you think that I can't want Stu to be healthy and still be able to explain why Roger did what he did. I think Stevie's smarter than he gives himself credit for.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, it speaks to like the insincerity of Romero, who I don't like, James Romero or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Maybe they were confused with what I said, but I said it pretty clear, just like that.
Yeah.
It was like
and
two
like,
sentences.
Yeah. And so I don't know. And like just the thumbnails are just too funny. It's just too funny. Take a look here. Oh, Maddie asked this question. You ever smoke with Bret? Stories, is he funny as fuck? Corey says he's funny as fuck.
So yes. And I guess, I enjoy hanging out with him. He's not just telling like one joke after another, but he's, when he's telling stories, he's entertaining. He's always been super cool. That was what I bonded with him over, actually, was when I learned that he likes to smoke. And we had a mutual friend who was a wrestling promoter in San Jose named Kirk White. And Kirk became Bret's agent and was booking him at conventions and stuff like that. And so I would see both of them a lot of times at cons. And when we had a chance, I would smoke. Matter of fact, I did an RVD TV episode with Bret in a hotel room on the road somewhere. And I think we smoked. And we definitely smoked, but I think we did that on camera. I think we're smoking. Maybe not, though. Maybe I didn't even smoke on camera back then, now that I think about it. I guess I wouldn't have. Yeah. That was before I even smoked on camera, and I thought it looked too dirty for people to handle. But yeah, and Lou Dog is a friend of ours up in that area that would come with the loudest buds. Lou Dog, bro, he'd come by and you could smell his buds like in the whole building, like in a gymnasium. One time we were like, whoa, that's so strong. And it was a big, like basketball kind of gymnasium. We looked and he was this was in the daytime when it wasn't full of people. And Lou Dog was all the way up on the top row of the bleachers in the corner, sitting by himself, and we could smell him because his weed smelled so strong. So he's an excellent grower. And anyway, that was how I bonded with Bret at first. And he just, man, I feel like, I don't know, there was just like a mutual trust and respect right away. He offered up his house in Hawaii. And one time, and said, if you and my evil ex, you guys are in the big island of Kona, you're welcome to stay there, when I'm not there, whatever. And we did. And he was, it was awesome. What a fucking great experience that was, just smoking and seeing the lizards and all the animals in his yard, like that would make that part of their daily path, from lizards and cats and birds, and it was just, that was my TV set for several days. I was just out there smoking weed, sitting on his porch, watching all this stuff, and it was upstairs, so I could see over the trees pretty far into nature. And man, it was amazing. I don't have any funny stories, but that's definitely one there. He hooked me up. He said, my neighbor so-and-so downstairs, if you need anything, let them know. And so of course, I was like, weed. Got me weed. It was yeah, Bret's definitely a good guy, good friend. And I definitely got Bret's back, and I think he's being more honest than bitter. It's what's interesting is because it's different, because we can always choose if we want to tell good stories or bad stories. I obviously make it a pronounced effort. Everyone knows I try to be positive, and part of that is staying away from saying negative things, even if I do feel it. But sometimes it feels like the right time and the right crowd, the right conversation, where you're like, exactly what these people need to hear. They're going to find this interesting. I'm going to give them my honest opinion that's going to be completely opposite of anything anyone else has told them. But they're either going to respect me for telling it like it is, or else they can judge me for it, you know?
That's
And I
right.
think that if you look at Bret like that, he don't give a fuck if you judge him.
No, he don't give a shit, you know? Like it, yeah, he's living his life. I love Brett's great. Stupid. Frankie, he's got a question here. Don't know if you have an answer to this, Rob, because I don't know if you played this.
I would like to have Bret on the show, by the way. I was thinking about that recently, thinking, he might do it. But a lot of times, the reason I don't have a lot of guests on is I feel like this is something I feel like I'm obligated to do it, because it's my show and stuff. And sometimes I feel like other people like that then or Booker even, asked him, he said, sure. But then if we lose contact or whatever, it's like, I don't want to bug him about it because, like, I have to be here. He doesn't. That's how I see it. I feel like
I understand that feeling.
Yeah, because, like, when I got to do someone else's podcast, especially if it's a friend, and at least it's got a little more value. But anyway, then it sticks in my mind. Like, what do I got to do Friday? Oh, that's right, Friday at 3:30. I got to work my whole day around doing this, and that's with a little bit exaggeration. That's kind of how it feels for me when I'm on that side of the coin. So I think about that when it comes to asking other people. So every once in a while, if it's convenient, I might slide it in, but I don't really want to be like, hey, dude, let me take one of your days off and fucking book it with my Billy show and 13 people listening and Mr. Matty Marijuana and Jen Ladon and a couple other people. And
we got some folks.
Maybe that's it. Maybe if we had like 1 million views every week, then maybe I'd be more like, you want to be on my show.
Yeah, we're going to get some good.
But obviously, we talk about that a lot. Like, obviously, the agenda isn't just to do this for ratings or for money, and it might be for a lot of other people. We would change a lot of things if that was our number one thing. But another side of that is that does keeps me from feeling like my show is as important to other of my peers, maybe. Like it serves my purpose.
Yeah.
But maybe not them if they're like getting Maven numbers or something. I don't know. Maven said he would be on. We did have him on. That's right. Oh no, he called in. He came on as a surprise guest when we had someone else on.
No, we never had Maven on here.
What?
Never had Maven on here. Nope.
Oh,
you did his show because he came and visited you, and you did his show, and then we critiqued because he talked about you smelling, and then we talked about that, and that went back and forth too. But he hasn't been on the show yet.
Huh? Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was on Renee Dupree's, and then maybe Maven called in on that show.
That might have been it.
I think probably that happened on Cafe de Renee.
Anyway,
whatever I was saying, period.
Brett. Yes. So there we go. All right. Brett would be awesome. I love Brett. Yeah. All right. Frankie Turizo, he asked you this, Rob. Who are your favorite Street Fighter characters? I'm a Ken guy. And then he says, could 90s Japanese video game programmers have sampled RVD when creating Dan Hibiki? That's a character on Street Fighter.
See, I don't know. I'm not qualified.
Okay. So I have an image of Dan, who's one of the characters on Street Fighter. Now, they're making a Street Fighter movie, and Cody Rhodes is Guile in it. Roman Reigns is another character in it.
Oh, sweet.
And then there's the comedian. Do you know the comedian Tony Schultz? I think that's his name, Tony Schultz. He's got a mustache.
Not sure.
Okay. Well, he's not bad. But
wait, is he the actor wrestler that does?
No, he doesn't. No, that's Paul Walter Hauser you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
But Tony Schultz is like, he's got like slick back hair. He's kind of funny. He's got some good stuff, I think, sometimes. But he's playing Dan. Well, this is the character of Dan, and this is what Frankie is asking. If maybe you think that these Japanese game developers maybe saw RVD and was like, hey, let's make this character. Take a look, Rob. Boom.
Okay. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. He's got a ponytail. That's not the best graphic of him, but he's got a ponytail. And so he's thinking maybe they saw Rob Van Dam.
I did have a red gi at one time.
Ooh, see, how about that? That's true. That's true.
I didn't. Street Fighter wasn't one of my games, so I didn't know the characters. I liked Double Dragon.
Yeah.
I loved Virtua Fighter.
Yes.
Shanghai Kid was
Okay.
one of
I don't know that. I don't remember that one.
And then for the wrestling games,
Fire Pro Wrestling, right?
Fire. Well, yeah, that was I was thinking of arcade games, but yeah, you're right. That was the old Sega or whatever. But at the arcade, I used to do the fuck was it called? I'm not sure. It had Golden Hawk, Piranha, Piranha. Well, actually, I don't know. It don't matter. I have the Van Gaminator that has like, I think 320 games in it or something, and it has. I can go put Street Fighter on it, and you know, I'm not going to, but I can.
Nice. Did you play Battletoads?
No, don't know that one.
They had the Double Dragon Battletoads mashup where like you could play all those characters. That was a blast. That was one of my favorite games. Double Dragon was fun though. I like that one more.
Yeah. You can name in the face, and then like throw them over your shoulder.
Oh man, those are great games back then. Ooh, you know what, Rob? I think that's it. I think we got all the super chats. Was there anything else I wanted? No, I brought up everything. I wanted the TNA thing. We talked about that. Talked about the money. Cool. You have anything going on this weekend that you want to promote or anything?
I am happy to be off the road for a little bit. Something coming up in a few days that I can't talk about. What was I going to say? Something. I was going to bring up something. Let's see. Down fans. Thursday. Trash. Oh, I was just going to say good news for my fellow cannabis enthusiasts out there. I'll be making an announcement very soon that will be the official word that RVD weed is going to be back in the game.
Yeah.
I got well, I'll just leave it at that, but it's going to be in several states. It's going to be with a really big company, and I'm super excited about it. We're going to be touring the dispensaries that carry my product, and on that list is such states as Nevada and Florida and Arizona and eventually Illinois and Michigan. So that's going to be badass when I go back to Michigan to Battle Creek to do a meet and greet at the fucking marijuana dispensaries. That'll be awesome. On Marijuana Mile or whatever they call it in Battle Creek, where all the dispensaries are. I think it's called Marijuana Mile.
Fucking get high with Tony the Tiger. Yeah.
Pretty stoked though. I mean, several products, way more professional and bigger from the start, even than what I had before. Better people, and so just a little hint there of some good news coming soon.
Some info happening, guys. Get ready for it. Heck yeah. So be on the lookout for that. Some more stuff to come for sure. And yeah, Rob, I'm glad you get the weekend off. Congrats to you and Katie too. I saw Katie's pictures with the belly pictures and stuff. So that's looking awesome and stuff. And
it's getting bigger.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Closer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Guys, before you leave too, be sure to take advantage of the Christmas sale. I believe RVD420.com has going on. Their glassware and stuff, Greek glass. You can get some RVD promotional stuff. I believe 20% off is the code or is the deal going on. So take a look over there. Get some of that RVD glass before that RVD weed shows up. Huh? How about that? And if you like what you're seeing, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Like I said, RVDTV.com. Go to RVD's YouTube channel as well. Check that out and support the show in many ways like that. And if you listen audio wise, like us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your damn podcasts. But Rob, this has been fun. We kept it short this time. And
yeah, that's cool because I'm tired. And next week I am planning on having some guests on, so that'll be a little bigger show. Yes. Hey, by the way, just popped in my head here on my way out. I saw the Raven documentary the other day. Yeah, so Katie and I both watched it and enjoyed it. One thing that was really cool for me. This was in the 85, 86, long time ago. And it was either before my very first live wrestling show or one of the first couple. I think it was the first one, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'd have to check the date. But I've told this story before that when I was waiting to leave to go to the Kellogg Center Arena, my on the TV in my mom's kitchen, the local news ran a little special on wrestling, to promote the WWF was in town that night. And what they showed was something that must have gotten, Associated Press. It must have got pushed around the country somehow with that because it was a video of the Monster Factory in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember this, and I've talked about this in interviews that, I remember standing there watching in the kitchen and watching the boys taking the bumps in the ring and being like, whoa, they're in a wrestling school. This is so cool. And I remember seeing Bam Bam Bigelow. And I remember seeing him doing cartwheels or whatever. And I was like, wow. And there was a guy named Tony the Tiger that was eating a heart. and also I remember Scotty the Body, who I knew ended up being Raven. When I was watching the documentary, I'll be damned if they didn't play that little clip. And
really?
It was so cool because I hadn't seen that since I'm 14, 15 years old, and there it is. I was telling Katie, whoa, they're gonna show. As soon as it came on, I was like, this is it. They're gonna show, because I knew it was the Monster Factory. I said, watch, he's Scotty the Body. I forgot how jacked he was. He used to really be built. But anyway, that was really cool for me to rewatch a news clip that I only saw when it was live way back in 86 or whenever it was. So that was cool, but the whole thing was cool. And Raven's cool. Scotty, hopefully he will remain healthy. He's got a little bit of Parkinson's, I guess.
He did mention that, yeah, like early onset, I think, or something to that effect. So yeah, but
you see it.
I haven't watched it yet. I want to watch
it. His hand shaking in the movie.
Oh, you can see a little. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the chat wants to get him on here, and we can definitely try to make that happen for sure. I've been in contact with him about just an interview straight up, so I'm sure we can get him on here for sure.
Yeah.
So
true.
Yeah. So cool. All right. Well, good to hear. I'm glad you watched it. I can't wait to check it out too. So yes. How was it in comparison to? I guess it's two different things, but comparison to the Sabu documentary.
Still, yeah, there was some similarities to that, and there was some similarities I thought also to even my career because he quit and walked out of places instead of getting fired. And when he was talking about that, it's like something that normally you don't do. You don't walk off when you got a job on TV, whatever. But I could relate to it because I did that everywhere that I worked for. And some of the similarities with the Sabu doc, Order My doc, were so specific. It was down to certain scenes where I was like, there's a scene in Headstrong where I'm at the big event, and Bruno Sammartino's last appearance, Bobby Heenan's probably last appearance, and when I'm walking around there, Joe Clark shows I think it's in a little bit slow motion, and he plays this music, and it kind of grabs your tear ducts and pulls at him, and it's like it makes you kind of like all of a sudden feel emotional. And there was something specific as that I saw the exact same thing on here. Ravens at a convention, saying hi to wrestlers, the exact same thing, and the music sounded very similar in my mind to the music that was in Headstrong. So there was things like that where I was like, whoa, and I told Katie, doesn't this remind you of Headstrong? And so there was a lot of scenes and occurrences and things that we went through that were similar. A lot of it was movie, filmography, directorial choices, and some of it was just career paths. But there was a lot of similarities that I thought, and I put it on the recommended list. Check it out.
Yeah, check it out, everybody. It's on Amazon Prime. I know you can watch it, stream it on there, and there's other outlets too that you can check it out on. But Amazon Prime, I know for sure it's on. So take a look at that. I'm gonna take a look at it too for sure. It'd be great to watch. Raven, he was one of my favorites too as a kid. So awesome, good to hear. Sweet Rob, this has been a great show, and we'll have to do it again next time. And
yes, sir. Yep, let's do it. Let's do it next week.
I like
Appreciate everybody, Van Dam fam.
Yes.
Have a great weekend. Rest up. Peace out, hoes.
Peace up, A-Town down. Catch you next time here on One of a Kind with RVD. That's that guy right over there. All right.
Oh, whole fucking show.
Yes. Whole fucking show.
Oh.
I'm here on a job site with Tim, who owns his own electrical contracting business.
3 employees and 2 work trucks.
Tim traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance. We're positively here where he needs us most.
They sure are.
With step-by-step help on all his insurance needs, all for shockingly low rates.
Shockingly low, huh?
It's just a little bit of electrician humour. Do you get it?
I got it.
It feels like we have a real connection. All right, I'll stop.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
With the state of today's economy, it is more important than ever to invest in products that last for years to come. As the seasons shift and get cooler, make sure your closet is stocked with durable layers that stand the test of time from American Giant. American Giant's clothes work harder and are wearable season after season. Their greatest hoodie ever made is made of the highest quality materials that are cut and sewn right here in the United States. So you're investing right back into your local community. Choosing American Giant means taking a stand for American manufacturing and hardworking Americans, something other mega corporations don't care about. From fleece to knit, all in a range of colors for versatile daily wear, American Giant delivers everyday pieces designed for everyday life. Feel the difference of quality made-to-last clothes from American Giant. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with code STAPLE20.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.
The following announcement has been paid for by the What's Wrong with Wrestling podcast.
Oh, hell yeah. Were you expecting someone else? Stone Cold says check out the What's Wrong with Wrestling podcast. They've got millions of downloads for being the funniest wrestling podcast in the whole world. And they ain't afraid to tell the truth about the underwhelming Triple H era. Plus, they also do some pretty dang good impressions, if you ask me. So go listen now, because Stone Cold said so.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the What's Wrong with Wrestling podcast. Available on Apple and Spotify.